Ayan na. Kamusta kayo dyan, mga kameta? Thank you very much for joining us. Alam natin, medyo late tayo nag-start today. Long day. Medyo nag-jogging, medyo duty here and there. And then night walk tayo ng konti kanina. Ang ganda ng moonlight. Mukhang almost full moon ngayon. So, maraming salamat again for everyone, to everyone na sumali sa ating kagabi almost until midnight. Yung isang gabi pa nga, medyo kasabay na natin halos yung Miss Universe. So, salamat sa mga sumabay sa Miss Universe natin. Actually, kagabi, medyo may konting scare tayo dahil full na pala itong laptop natin. Medyo limited kasi itong mga air na to limited ang kanilang space. So, naubos na pala. So, biglang hindi ko masave lahat ng mga Zoom na ginawa natin interviews with mga RRM, si Ronald Liamas, Ronald Aldens Liamas, at saka si Mark, talent manager, Gamboa. Yan, medyo kinabahan tayo ng konti. I was a bit worried about the direction of things. So it took me like 45 minutes, 1 hour to get around the technical issues kasi kahit nung inayos ko yung space and all, hindi ko pa rin siya ma-download. Diba? May double click daw yun sa Zoom. So I had to find a technical way around it to make sure na maayos natin. And then obviously medyo mahina din ang internet natin, so it took me some time also to upload. Na-upload na rin na po yung episode natin on Risa Hontiversos, the rise of Risa Hontiversos, and anong implication nito for opposition and the 2028 elections. But before going about, well, we kind of talked about the 2028 elections already. Pag-usapan natin 2025 election. Ito na, may post kanina si former Senator Francis Pangilinan. Ito na, nagsama na yung Fantastic Four. Ito na, buyaka siya, Fantastic Four, mga kameta, mga ka-YouTubers. Ito na, nagsama-sama na sila. Yan, no? Talagang, ito na. So, mukhang alam talaga ni, what's his name? Ni Ronald Liamas, talagang nangyari. Sabi niya, Risa talaga is gonna lead the group and all of that, ba? Talagang switched on ito si Sir Ronald Liamas. Pero mas napabilib ako sa kanya nung sinabi niya yung controversy sa Miss Japan contest. I mean, man, that's something. And I think since kahapon meron tayong bagong inintroduce na quantitative, qualitative indicator, itong tinatawag na 7-11 index. So as Comrade Ronald Liamas said, pag pinag-usapan ka na sa 7-11, mainstream ka na. I'll tell you what, meron akong similar concept dyan. Ang concept ko dati is kung meron kang libro na binebenta sa 7-11, then you have made it. Naalala niyo yung Ramon Bautista ba yung pangalan nun? Sorry, ang tagal na yan. Ito yung sa TV5 dati. Andun pa rin yata siya, no? Ito yung comedian, ito yung mass comm professor sa UP. Na meron siyang libro na parang hirap maging pogi or something like that. Mahirap maging gwapo or pogi. Parang meron siyang ganitong libro. I'm not sure kung yung basagan ng trip ni Lelo ay nandun din sa 7-11 few years ago. But, so meron akong index na ganun. If yung libro mo ay nakapasok sa 7-11, ibig sabihin you have made it. Na meron kang, So, anyways, pag-usapan din natin yan. Now, kanina rin meron itong statement, yung bagong Senate President natin, itong napaka-fashionista Senate President natin, chick picture. Oy, ayoko mag-model, ayoko mag-picture, ayoko fashionista, pero nagpapa-picture na marami. Yan talaga, yung ganon. Senator Cheese, yan, cheese, yan, say cheese, Escudero. Marami tayong sasabihin dito. Paano ko sasabihin yan? Parang nung time na estudyante ako, yun yung parang iPhone nung time na yan. Anong petsa na? 2024 na. Parang yun pa rin yung the same iPhone. Same positioning, same tone, same lahat. So siguro, kailangan nyo pakinggan itong kaibigan natin si Leloy. Si Leloy yung papahamak ko dito. Hindi ko pa na-upload itong videos ko kay Leloy. Double check ko lang. Baka may mapahamak natin yung beshi natin sa Berkeley. Pero, of all people, feeling ko siya, kumukuha niya talagang yung boses ng ating bagong Senate President. Sir Cheese, huwag ka na magalit sa akin. Kasalanan ni, yan. Sisihin mo na si, si... Di ba? Naabutan niyo, di ba, guys? Yung imitation style. Ako, favorite ko pa rin sa kanya yung Ben Tulfo eh. Ano yung, ano sa'yo? Pangalan nun? Raymart Barreto. Magkita tayo sa abandoned warehouse. Yun talagang favorite ko eh. Nagamunan. Sila Raymart Santiago, yung mga Tulfo Brothers yan. Kita tayo sa abandoned warehouse. Yan ang favorite ko yung abandoned warehouse eh. Oo, yung ganyan twang. Alright. Hindi, ito talagang favorite ko talaga. The best talaga itong si Liloy. Prof. Liloy ng Berkeley. Lang ya. Nasaan ka na? Ayan, ito. Ito yung video namin, no? Naman dyan. Wala na bang bagong cheese times abandoned warehouse.
Sino ba gusto mo? Cheese o
Ano yung showdown ng dalawa na yan?
Ipaglalaban ko sa kapatan. Ang mga ipit ang boses.
Abandoned warehouse.
Tulfo versus cheese.
Yan, Tulfo versus cheese. Famous ka. Shucks, di ko pa na-upload to guys. Edit ko pa to. Ulitin natin ha.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Yan.
Saka naman dyan. Wala na bang bagong cheese times abandoned warehouse. Ano yung showdown ng dalawa na yan?
Yan.
Ipaglalaban ko.
Yan! Senate President din. Wag mo lang ganyan.
Sa abandoned warehouse. Paglalaban ko naman. May twin.
Tapos yan. Tawag ko sa kanya, Shogun. Si Shogun Leloy. Tingnan yung damit niya, para naka-Shogun siya. Edit ko pa to kasi yung mga ka-abandoned warehouse, mga kasimpleng tao. Problema kasi, ang taas nung nakuha kong, yung byte rate niya, ang taas, hindi ko siya ma-convert, kaya hirap na hirap ako i-edit ito. O nga, tawagin natin si Prof. Mamaya, i-send ko tong copy nito. Sabi ko, lagot ka, Senate President na yan. Si Ben Tulfo, di ko alam kung tatakbo yan. Pero, ito, na yan? Senate President na yan. Simpleng tao, lumaki sa farm, di ko na maalala lahat ng detalye ng buhay, ganyan, na si Mayor Alice in the Wonderland Go. Yan, sabi niya, kung ayon sa kanya, problema niyan, ipoprove niya na hindi siya diba? Yung mga ka-abandoned, Basta ako, Bato de la Rosa pa rin ako. I mean, man, yung kagabi, may nagtanong, yung mga kapitbahay dito, pinagtatawanan mo kagabi, meron yan. Sabi ko, hindi pa rin ako makamove on dun sa reaction ni Zubiri, dun sa ginawa sa kanya ni Pato. Yung ito nangyari. yung grabe daw, Grabe yung ginawa ni Bato, nagpahagag pa, tapos sa dulo rin, boboto rin laban sa'yo. Ayan, si Alice, mamaya na natin yan, si Alice in the Wonder Farmali! From daw tayo, from Farmali na PH. Ngayon naman, Farmali. Ayan, Farmali na tayo. Ayan, dami talagang, eto si, yung reaction talaga ni Sumiri talaga, yung hindi ko talaga kaya. Sabi niya, I've seen strange things in my life. Yun talagang, alam mo yung mga, yung mga politika. I've seen strange things in my life. But I've never seen something like abandoned warehouse. Ito si Bato, grabe talaga. Sabi talaga, sa lahat ng nakita niya, hello. Grabe naman kayo, guys. Alam mo, malapit na mapalit na itong natin, mapalit na yung category ng ko. Tangya. Mawala ng, di ba ang category ng podcast natin, guys, is politics. Malapit na daw maging comedy na. Maging kalaban na natin sila, sila Red Olerio, ano ba? Ayan na naman tayo. Tapos ang kalaban natin, yung Cool Pals ba yan? Cool Pals? Ay, sorry. Cool Pals. Yan. Malapit na, yun ang kalaban natin, hindi na si Isgira. Wag na yan. Sila ano na lang kalabahin natin, sila Cool Pals at saka mga ano yan. So guys, ito may pinost tayo kahapon bago tayo maging ano ulit. Seryoso tayong konti. Sir, abandon. Ayan, medyo serious. 1, 2, 3, sound check. Kaya natin si Senator. Ayoko mag-picture. No. Please, no picture, please. No, ayoko mag-pose. Ayoko mag-pose. Ay! Munti ko na. Ayoko na mag-pose. Yan. Mga ka-poser natin dyan. Alright. Mga ka-abandoned warehouse. Ito na, guys. Ito na. Bago tayo ma-reclassify sa Spotify. Mga ka-general ito na, officially, guys, na-reset na natin. So, our Spotify now is renamed to Deep Dive. Yan. Deep Dive with Richard Haydarian, guys. Hindi ito yung just to be clear, hindi ito yung deep dive na, wow! Hindi yung gano'n, legit tayo niyan. Hindi yung, wow! Hindi gano'n, Baka ma-Jonathan Morales tayo, mahirap na, mga ka-farmalis. Yan. So, hindi, at hindi na naman pinansin. Pinost ko yung pinaghirapan ko, inedit ko, nilagay ko ng caption yan, nilagay ko na, Ito na, guys. So, officially so the first video I made under this reboot version ng podcast natin na Deep Dive is, syempre guys, hindi tayo hanggang lang, Stanford University. So ito yung long conversation natin. At I posted just a part of it dito sa gorgeous campus of Stanford University. No offense to other universities. I think other universities are beautiful and all. But iba talaga yung campus ng Stanford University. Ang gorgeous. So, pinost natin yung long conversation natin with Professor Don Emerson, who's considered one of the greatest scholars of Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and I would say Asian order. So, ito na, deep dive. So, ito na, legit na ito. So, hindi na siya yung Richard Haydarian. Pero andun pa rin ako, don't worry. Ako pa rin yan. But, kasi nakakaya pag tinatanong ako abroad ng mga ibang professors or yung mga medyo big time, ano pangalan ng podcast mo? Siyempre, pag sabihin mo yung podcast ko, ayoko mag-picture. Wag, please, don't take my picture. Pangalan ng podcast ko ay pangalan ko. Di ba? I mean, medyo nakakaya siya. Alam ko, di ba? Yung mga... So, sabi ko, hindi gawin natin professional yan. So, ito guys. Ito yung conversation natin with Professor Don Emerson in this gorgeous campus of Stanford University. We talk about ASEAN. We talk about future of Southeast Asia. We talk about US-China competition. So, it's a series of edit ko pa yan. I-edit ko pa yung kay Leloy Claudio. So please, paki-support niyan. May mga may mga pasaway na binaba nila yung ratings natin sa sa podcast natin. May mga haters tayo diyan. So baka naman yung mga nagmamahal sa atin, yung mga supportive dun sa ginagawa natin, gusto niyo kasi in-maintain natin yung 5-star natin, biglang may mga haters na medyo ginalaw-galaw yung ratings natin. So please guys, libre lang, deep dive, type nyo lang yan. Libre lang magbigay ng 5-star. And of course, if you believe, we deserve at least some sort of appreciation and support na medyo kahit low level production. But ito na guys, pinaghirapan ko yan, pina-edit ko yan, ako nag-edit yan, kinaption ko yan. So please, I appreciate it guys. So my hope, God willing, is when I go all around the world, kausapin natin yung mga leading professors from top universities, whether it's Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Beijing, I don't know, Stanford nagawa natin. Berkeley, with Leloy na lang, I'll just count him na lang as the Berkeley professor, ipopost ko pa yan. So these are part of my rebooted deep dive podcast natin. Alright guys? Okay. Let's get back to talagang mga haters talaga yung mga yun. Ang ganda ng ratings natin. 5-star. 2 years na yung podcast natin. Siyempre, ni-launch natin right after inauguration ni Marcos. At guys, God willing, malapit na tayo mag-episode 500. So, episode na tayo? 480 na yata tayo. So, God willing, we're hoping to reach the episode 500 para meron tayong milestone. God willing, no? And to be honest, of course, some of the things I cannot give too much details. But as I said, I'm always working on some sort of project or something. What I'm saying is that down the road, our hope is to have medyo big event na conversations and hopefully dumalo kayo. Medyo may konting ticket and all, but the idea is medyo legit ang gagawin namin, diba? And this is gonna be with, hindi ko pwede sabihin sino mga sponsor dito, basta hindi corporate sponsor to, hindi legit yung mga sponsors na yan. So we're hoping to have a kind of a co-hosting of big event down the road. So please, tuloy-tuloy lang supportan nyo. We need to be there. Ang aim natin is na kapag, more or less it's me and Christian topping the Philippines when it comes to political podcast. But my target really here is be top 30 consistently dun sa podcast sa Pilipinas. Naka-top 80, top 70, top 50 na tayo, nag-30 plus na tayo. We want to be consistently in the top 30 and God willing down the road dun sa top 10. Kasi ang number one Spotify sa Philippines, actually podcast in the Philippines is Barangay Love. Alright? Hindi natin matalo yan kasi Papa Jackson level yan, hindi ko kayang talunin yan. Alright? Unless magbagong genre na tayo. But intellectual, politically conscious, socially relevant, economically literate, kung ganyan podcast ang hinahanap nyo, yun po yung ginagawa natin. So please continue to support us. Libre lang naman, di ba? Unless, of course, gusto nyo magbigay ng baka naman, di ba? Baka naman. Anyway, let's talk about what we need to talk about. So there are two parts to our discussion today. And yung mga ibang haters na naman sa, tagal man guys, this is like a classroom. This is a Socratic method. You want a 2-minute version of me? You want a 2-minute version of me? You go and watch me on the TV stuff I put out there. Okay, Antonio, what are you doing? Napansin ko pareha si Senator Trillanes at saka si Justice Carpio, Antonio yung pangalan. Antonio, what's going on with you? Ayan, okay. So, guys, if you want the quick version of me, boom, 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 watch my interviews. Just go on YouTube, whatever. Google, just put, Hey Darian Bloomberg, Hey Darian CNN, Hey Darian BBC, yan, nalabas yan. But the whole point of this podcast is, ayan, siguro, yan, naglinis ng, nagdi-dishwashing si Mamshi, di ba? Nag-vacuum clean yan, gano'n, nag-jug. So, ang idea is, in the background, pinapakinggan tayo, di ba? It's a long-form conversation. It's a deep dive conversation. Medyo Socratic, medyo aristocratic, medyo Aristotelian pala. Yun. So, please, wag naman masyadong haters, guys. This is deliberately a kind of a long-drawn discussion. That's sensible naman overall. I hope it's sensible enough. So, please, wag kayo magalit. The whole purpose, may mga nagsabi sa akin, ginagamit yung Spotify natin bago matulog. So, I'm not sure I take that as a compliment na pampatulog yung Spotify natin, but I don't know, baka nakaka-relax pala tayo. Hindi naman bedroom voice yung boses natin, but nakaka-relax naman siguro tayo, di ba? Well, I would take it as a compliment in the sense I know usually ang mga tao ang ginagamit nila pang patulog is pampatulog nila is usually mga BBC, yung mga international news. So if I replace them as your lullaby bago tayo matulog, then so be it. Pero yun nga, the whole idea of long conversations ganun is, pag si Ma'am Shi ay naglilinis ng dishes, nagva-vacuum, tayong background voice. Alright? Just to keep them going. Alright? Kasi kung ibibigay ko yung sagot kagad ng 5 to 10 minutes, tapos na. That's it. Let's move on. Wala na. So, ganun talaga. This is part of how we do it. Right? But don't worry, I can do the whole thing in 2 minutes if you want. Very fast. Ganun lang yan. Okay. No questions? Okay, let's go forward. Mukhang nanonood yata yung mga nasa baba. Mother, wag gamitin ng internet. Paki-off mo internet sa baba. Mas malala pa yung internet dito kaysa sa Manila. Anyway, di ba? Yan sumasagot, di ba? Yung masabi nga, pang jogging tayo. Morning, mag-jog na sila, lalagay nila yung coffee, background. Hey Darian, what's the latest? So background voice tayo, naligo na, nag-shower na, nag-soap na, gano'n, lagyan ng shirt. Simula pa lang si Hey Darian, yan, nagpapatawa na siya, yan, okay, good vibes, good mood na ako. Lagay ko na yung shirt ko, baka naman, Adidas, baka naman, Nike, yan. Tapos, run. Ito na si Hey Darian, nasa gitna pa lang. Tapos yung bumalik na, patapos na si Hey Darian, mag-shower na, ayan. Tapos, ready na to go to work. So that's the whole point, di ba? Kaya ideally, yung gusto natin gawin guys dito is yung mga podcast natin. Upload tayo one part. Kaya nga sometimes what I do is 2 parts yun One part, upload natin early morning, dun sa mga gumigising. Gusto nila ng background noise, if I can put it that way, or white noise. And then the second part will be around 7, 8 p.m. right? So I'm looking at daily, if not twice daily. Para yan, di ba? Para people appreciate. So again, guys, thank you so much dun sa support nyo, and please support itong bagong podcast natin. We rebooted it. Everything is there. 480 episodes already uploaded. Just kindly support as it is. All right. Part number 1. Okay, so we actually discussed this kahapon, guys, with si Ronald Llamas at saka si Mark. So ito na. The Fantastic Four is already there, and Senator Francis Pangilinan has more or less ensured that. So this is it. Ito na. The four are together. So Risa Hontiversos will act effectively as the leader of the opposition. It's a relatively cozy group, tatlo lang, but it's composed of very high caliber people. If you look at merit, all right, if you look at capability, right? So you're talking about Dean Chel, of course, the son of the great Senator Diokno. Dean Diokno is considered as one of the greatest human rights lawyers in the country and beyond. Highly respected ang tao na to. And I'm sure Senator Rafi Tulfo is doing what he has to do, and he does what he does, and I think there's some value sometimes to how he does it, especially kung tinatawag yung mga land grabber, mga yung mga or yung mga abusos sa but at the same time, guys, you need also someone who does a proper legal procedural approach sa Senado, sa mga bansang katulad ng Sweden, Norway, New Zealand, whatever. Unfortunately, we're not those kinds of countries, not those countries yet in terms of levels of political maturity. Although when it comes to food and climate, I'd rather be here than in, I don't know, Sweden or whatever. Well, New Zealand is quite nice, but mamaya pag-usapan natin. But nevertheless, we used to have people like him in the Senate. All right, let's not forget about that. His father, the late Senator Diokno, was a mainstay in the Philippine Senate. All right, we had Sagisag, we had so many, Jovito Salonga. So let's not forget, there was a time in our Senate that we had world-class statesmen, as in the mold of like Roman senators level, like Seneca level. All right. So when I talk about bringing back people like Chel Diokno, right, or having people like Chel Diokno in the Senate, it's not like suntok sa buwan to, because we used to have people like him a lot, including his late father, the great Senator Diokno, the first Senator Soto, Jovito Salonga. Those were the types of senators we used to have. So let's never forget that those are the kind of leaders we had within our generation. All right, of course, andyan na yung mga fans club ni Ma'am, the late Miriam Defensor. And I'll tell you what, Miriam Defensor, okay, as controversial as she was among very few senators who I know, because I did some work with her office before when I was an academic in Ateneo. Hindi pa ako masyadong kilala nun. Hindi ko naman sinabi kilala ako ngayon. Pero yung time na yan, I was more of like a niche expert kind of thing. So I had a book on, the international affairs. Senator Miriam Defensor is the kind of senator who researches and who reaches out to the best experts in the country on any topic she wants to say something about. Yun yung level ni Miriam Defensor. So I'm telling you guys, this is within our lifetimes. This is not like 100 years ago. Hindi ito panahon ni Rizal, okay? Hindi ito panahon ng World War II, Commonwealth. Hindi ito Manuel Quezon time. Hindi ito just after. This is not even martial law period. This is post-Marcos era. We already had those kinds of senators. Jovito Salonga, Miriam Defensor. Before that, we had this Diokno. So ang sinasabi ko is, maybe we want to bring back a flavor of that. And I think no one comes as close to that. No offense to the rest. Okay, I'm not being here, I'm not trying to be pragmatism, performativity, magaling sa social media, pa-cute. I get it. Unfortunately, guys, we have to accept that it's inevitable that this is going to be an era whereby populists are going to be very powerful, right? Modi most likely is going to win again a third term. Great for him. Trump could win next year. I'm really having a hard time believing that Biden will win. I'll tell you, I kind of still feel baka marami dyan ay disappointed lang kay Biden kaya ang baba ng numbers niya. But you know, guys, I've been back and forth to the US over the past month, right? So from South Carolina to Georgia to Berkeley San Francisco all the way to Stanford the other week. I've talked to so many people, right, from all walks of life, from different backgrounds. Walang excited kay Biden, right? Walang excited kay Biden. And that makes me think Trump has a very, very good chance. So, no offense to our Republican friends, right, including some of our distant relatives, whatever. I'm just telling you that unavoidable yan. But in a Senate of 24 people, right? And 12 to be elected next year. Siguro naman someone like Chel would make sense. Would make sense. And you cannot say dilawan si Diokno or whatever. Hello, he has been his own guy. Literally, Diokno always has his own color. Parang color niya parang Tiffany, di ba? Yung favorite color natin, aside from purple. He even had his own color, even during the pink movement last elections. So Chel Diokno, obviously, and no offense, I don't want to talk about Pebbles, Bubble Gang, Mars, General Luna. I don't want to talk about that. I'm just saying, sana naman kahit management engineering sa Ateneo, which is one of the most difficult quota courses in any university in the Philippines. All right, and if not mistaken, this person is who graduated from management engineering or something along those lines, with flying colors. Ito yung isang tao na social entrepreneur. He was also able to, yes, similar kami, nanalo din siya ng 10 outstanding young persons in the world. Alright? Hindi lang 10 outstanding sa Pilipinas, in the world. Alright? So if you look at Bam Aquino's own CV, on his own terms, alright? For a moment, just forget that he's Aquino. Just put that aside, right? Obviously, there are advantages that come with that. Just if you look at that, guys, ang laki, he brings so much to the table. Alright? So, ang sabi ko nga, now, having said that, it's also extremely important for Bam Aquino to be the flag bearer for the Aquinos. Because, again, hindi naman tayo nagmamalis or anything, in the sense that I've criticized the Aquinos. All of the Aquinos who have been in power. But my criticism of them was more of omission rather than commission. Meaning, yung mga hindi nila nagawa or yung mga kakulangan nila. But let's not forget, if there are two presidents that we are almost 100% sure, I would say 100% sure, na walang corruption, walang bahid na corruption or anything like that, is Corazon Aquino and Pinoy Aquino, the two who have already departed. Alright, we can have a long conversation dun sa mga kakulangan. I had many critical things about Pinoy when it comes to Mama Sapano, when it comes to West Philippine Sea. Sa tingin ko, may mga kakulangan sa ekonomiya, walang industrial policy, fine. But ito yung mga tao na may integrity. Alright? Which is something very rare. Sino yung mga matay tao level EJK, gano'n. Alright? Alam natin sino yung mga kurakot. Okay. None of that you'll see with the Aquinos. So let's not forget that. Alright? And some of the best things we're seeing under BBM are actually things that Aquino used to do. Stand up for the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. Right? Be statesman and go around the world and do the rounds and do the right thing, right? Speak the right words and the right language on foreign policy and also on economic and investment issues. Literally, some of the cabinet members of Pinoy are in the BBM, including our NEDA secretary, Balisacan, who also we had an interview. You can check my podcast interview with him, right? Although I did that originally for my GMA News program. So, I think it's important for BAM to be the flag bearer for the Aquinos and there's no shame in being Aquino at all. Yes, obviously yung 6 years of DDS propaganda, black propaganda, and some legitimate criticism and all, it has had a dent on the Aquino name. That's true. I mean, I'll tell you what, in India, may mga nagbabash kay Gandhi. Alright? So if Gandhi, we live in an era whereby Gandhi is bashed because of the influence of right-wing populism and disinformation, then I mean, it's completely understandable that we will see also kind of bashing against liberal icons like Nino, etc. But I think BAM should be unapologetic about it and remind everyone that if there were two presidents who were not corrupt at all, walang bahid na duda dun sa kanilang integrity, and who really did their best even though they were imperfect and there were many things na incomplete, ito yung mga Aquinos. And him as Bam Aquino perhaps has to continue. But my suggestion to Bam Aquino would be is that you have to also fill in the gaps. Kasi feeling ko may mga pagkakulang talaga in terms of the narratives, in terms of pushing back against disinformation, in terms of being relatable and all of that. In fairness, may mga efforts naman si Bam. Like for instance, nakikita ko yung mga, he does TikTok, medyo travel vlog, mga ganon. So, I see the elements there. I'm just saying, kailangan pa i-push ni Bam Aquino yan. But I think the elements are coming together. Basta in short lang, there's nothing to be ashamed of as far as Aquino is concerned. At the same time, you have to accept na medyo as a political brand, it has to have some work done on it, right? And you have to shamelessly remind people of the good things that the Aquinos did na wala dun sa mga ibang presidente. And then look at how you can put a positive, inspiring agenda na hindi katulad nung cancel culture, elitism na mga dilawan, etc. Alright? From what I understand, Bam Aquino reaches out and listens to smart people. So, including some of my colleagues na, of course, hindi natin pangalanan, but I was able to ask them about Bam Aquino and I heard very, very encouraging things. And then, of course, there's Kiko Pangilinan, who, you know, we don't need any introduction for him. He ran for the vice presidency, got more than 9 million votes for that. He was a long time in the Senate. He was for sometimes seen as the front runner to of the Liberal Party to run for the House. Ako naman, feeling ko for Bam, his strongest suit would be sa agriculture. Because Kiko Pangilinan is, actually in person, is quite charismatic. Medyo matangkat pala siya. Okay. Meron yun eh. And he has also media savvy. This person used to work, I think, radio and media, etc. before he became senator. So the elements are there. It's just that he has to freshen it up a little bit and tweak it and emphasize also yung grassroots part niya. And then, as I said, with all of these three senators, the challenge will be the cool factor element. Cool, hindi pa cool. The two are they're totally opposite. Pa cool is the enemy of cool, right? So I think what we had in the past is the problem na nagpapakool yung iba and it just backfired. All right. So ang sinasabi ko dito is wag kayong wag kayong magpanggap ng being something that you're not. So kung nag-aral ka sa elite universities, whatever, abroad, gano'n, huwag kayong magpanggap na lumaki lang kayo sa farm na simpleng tao kayo. No, huwag kayong pagpanggap na simpleng tao kayo kasi kung hindi naman talaga kayo simpleng tao, di ba? Nag-aaral kayo mabuti, napunta sa ganyan. Okay, medyo may privileged background. There's nothing wrong with that. But remind people that your privileged background made you realize that you have to give back. So that's a very important thing. Now, let's go to Risa Hontiversos. We'll have obviously more conversations about this one by one. At least I gave you guys some big picture understanding of where I see Diokno, Bam, and Kiko Pangilinan's positioning could be para gumana, or at least it has a better chance. Now, going to Risa Hontiversos, katulad ng pinag-usapan namin kahapon, I think this is an excellent moment for Risa Hontiversos, knock on wood. I think she has proven back-to-back from the Kiboloy all the way to from Kiboloy all the way to the long day. From Kiboloy to etong Mayor Go hearings, that I think she reminded everyone of her mettle of leadership, the kind of caliber of leadership she brings to table. I think she's really, really on a good momentum. Sobrang ganda ng momentum niya. But I also agree na she's not there yet. And I think there are a lot of things that she has to still work on, including her relationship with the media, including her positioning, kasi hindi dapat lecture-ish. I'm telling as someone was being a university professor, lecturer, etc., right? Now, when you deal with media and people, dapat hindi lecture mode. It's very important na nagpapatawa ka. I mean, so I don't know, may mga haters dyan, hey, corny mo, gang. But you guys don't understand. You have to have some humor here. You have to be a little bit kenkoy, a little bit relatable. That's just very important, particularly in our political culture. Now, some of you may have watched my talks, abroad. Iba yung humor ko doon. So a humor in front of a British audience, my humor would be more of dry witty humor, right? In front of Americans, I will have a different humor. In front of Asians, Japanese, Singaporeans, I'll have a different kind of humor. Australians, always the same. And then Pinoy, different humor ko. So, siguro Pinoy, Latino, whatever, I'll have the same style of humor, right? So, you have to adjust to that audience. It's very important. It's very, very important. So, I think there's something that can be done there in terms of putting some so kaya nga sabi ko, yung yung sarcastic mga sinasabi ni Risa Hontiversos, yung parang happy mom she days, siguraduhin niya lang parang kunyari something along the siguraduhin niya na na maayos yung yung birth certificate ng anak niya or something like that. So patama yun kay diba? Kay Mayor Go, diba? Yung ganon, that was funny, that was good. That was funny, that was good. Right? So the thing kasi, obviously, Senator Risa Hontiveros is a progressive, and all. Ang kuto lang sa Pilipinas is I think we're not medyo hindi natin gusto masyadong super politically correct and all of that. Medyo woke. So I think it's important for to come off as principled and progressive, but not woke, right? So that's very important. Among her own crowd, okay lang maging woke, whatever. But the Philippine political audience, hindi pwede maging woke. You have to be a little bit naughty, a little bit walk on, you know what I'm talking about, right? And at the same time, respectful and inclusive and all of that. Sa tingin ko kaya yan. You see with me, I'm very politically correct, right? And it's because I do believe in sensitivity and all of that to different communities and all of that. At the same time, alam ko rin hindi pwedeng seryoso ka lang all the time. Na parati kang medyo woke ang dating mo. So I think that is something that she can a little bit work on. But nevertheless, the momentum is there. From Kiboloy to, I mean, in the past, I would say 2-3 months, Risa Hontiversos has gotten more airtime than any other senator, except hindi rin si Bato. No, I mean, probably more than any time ever in our life, right? In a sense that she's constantly in the middle of discussions. In the middle of discussions. Right? Pero yun lang, because I'm from media also, some friends are honest with me and they'll say, Richard, yun nga, medyo parang lecture-ish ang dating niya, ganyan, diba? So there should be some work done around that. Medyo a little bit humor, a little bit more relatability, medyo kalog, medyo, yun nga, I think sometimes too serious si Risa, which could come off as intimidating to some people. All right? I'm just saying, all right? So, yun lang. I think those are some of the things that she could work on. Now, while she has a very good momentum, while she has a very good, strong momentum, all right, I think what is also important here is that, and this is where things are challenging. Tama si Ronald Llamas na, finally, eto si Risa is taking up the mantle of leadership for the opposition. I think, now nakikita natin yung sinasabi ni Lenny noon na she has passed down the baton. But this comes with a lot of risk. So, because kung walang manalo dun sa tatlo na minention ko, siyang sisisiin. Right? And that could provide an opening for a push for Lenny to be the standard bearer again come 2028. Especially because Lenny's numbers are still good. She's at least number 3. Yeah, she's third behind Tulfo and Sara for 2028. But having said that, my understanding, if everyone also knows na sobrang hirap ang opposition ngayon dahil ang mga Dutertes ang naging de facto opposition. So yun pa lang ipit na ng opposition. Pangalawa, sa tingin ko, etong pinakamahirap na Senate race I've seen. Sobrang hirap. Like when certain people ask me, Richard, should I run for Senate? I just honestly tell them, if gusto mo lang if you just want to leave a mark for 2028, go for it. But if you're gonna go all in for 2025, sobrang hirap tong elections na to. This is, ang daming re-electionists. And then you have many DDS re-electionists, and some of them who are desperate to win again at any cost dahil there's the ICC question. Right? Even if, of course, being a senator doesn't give you immunity from ICC. And then there are other re-electionists na hindi kasama sa the whole DDS versus BBM, pero malakas din. Lacson, for instance. Right? Senator Lacson. But even Senator Lacson, hirap siya sa mga surveys if makita mo. And then there are others, celebrity ones, who have a good chance of winning. And ito yung mga, Tito Boy Soto. Ay, Tito Boys. Wala na. Di ko na, mamaya bukas na lang si Escudero. Napagod na ako. Tito Soto. Uh, and then, my goodness, two Tulfos. Not one, but two Tulfos. Not Rafi, Erwin and Ben. Diba? And then, meron ka pang Pacquiao. Alright. Although, of course, due respect to Erwin, si Erwin, congressman na siya ngayon at nag-DSW secretary. But Ben is still, kind of like a celebrity journalist. And Ben the warehouse, if ever he runs. And then you have Isko Moreno. Alright. So, ang hirap nito eh. Sobrang hirap tong Senate race na to. And it's also possible someone like Gibo Chodoro will use yung pagka-DND secretary niya as a platform to run for Senate. So, and then meron kang yung mga Harry Roque types and all of that. So, ang hirap na tong Senate race na to. So, eto na, she has already made a decision. She's gonna run for this. So, I think ang challenge for Risa is to make sure that even if wala sa tatlong yan manalo, they put up a very good fight. And more importantly, they remind everyone that whatever they succeed at getting, even if it were not enough to put them in the Magic 12, I'm not saying they're not going to be Magic, I'm just saying sobrang hirap tong race na to. And then, not to mention, baka tumakbo pa si Baste or whatever, one of the Dutertes, if not the father. They have to remind everyone that this was about fighting the good fight, right? So, win or lose, dapat winner pa rin ng labas. And the idea is that the 2025 elections, ito yung green shoots, ito yung fundasyon para sa mas malakas at mas comprehensive challenge from the real opposition come 2028. So, in as much as, I mean, for me, it's like in sports, diba? You're a great coach. You take over a team na medyo battered, medyo nahirapan, may glory days, medyo behind, but wants to come back. So the idea is that even if you don't make it top 3 or 4, this like Premier League, kunyari Chelsea, you took over Chelsea, used to be a great team, but not so great. Number 10, 12 na. If you even can bring it to number 5 or 6, which by the way happened this year, even if hindi siya top 4, right? You bring it to 5 to 6, you still can get some credit for that. Same, remind people how hard this race is. So that hindi gagamitin later on ito to question her leadership. Kasi I'm sure may mga tao sa opposition na gusto pa rin nila si Lenny or ayaw nila kay Risa for whatever reason, right? So yun yung magiging challenge coming these elections. Alright guys, nakita na medyo pagod na ako. So mamay na si Scudero and all of that. Napatagal yung mga introduction natin. Gawin na lang natin yan bukas, God willing. But for today, I just felt it's important to talk about the opposition. And I think each of these candidates bring a lot to the table. So, eye on the ball, 2025 elections, but also this is about 2028. And I think this is also about, this is a question of whether Risa Hontiversos can sustain the strong momentum that she has generated over the past 3-4 months. Not out of being pa-cute or pebbles or bubble gang, but because of the merit of her leadership and stateswomanship. On that note, thank you very much. God bless and talk to you soon. So, thanks again, guys. Please support itong rebooted Spotify natin at saka yung mga pinapost natin. Starting with, of course, yung long conversation natin with Professor Emerson from Stanford University, yung long walk natin sa Stanford University. We're hoping to have more of R&R and RRM, etc. in person also, katulad ng ginawa natin, Illustrated Edition. So please continue to support us. And thank you sa lahat ng mga supportan nyo. That enabled us, to make sure na unti-unti natin i-improve ang quality ng itong ginagawa. At least medyo maayos na yung lighting, medyo maayos ng konti na, may konting lighting here, medyo may IKEA ng konti here, medyo may Ace Hardware ng dito, medyo may basic gadgets na tayo. No? So, unti-unti ko din-develop itong production level. Hindi tayo kasing high level ng mga ibang colleagues natin, mga kabilang channels, ganun. But, we bring content and hopefully we'll bring more informed to this, and that's all because of your support. Because honestly, guys, as makulit and whatever as I am, minsan nakakadismaya, diba? Like you feel you have a lot to say, and then parang 10 tao lang nanood, something like that, diba? Or although I mean, I've spoken in front of tens of thousands of people. I've also spoken in front of like 2 or 3 people sometimes, and minsan you want to have more of the former than the latter, right? So if not for your support, guys, to be honest, in every sense of the word, may mga times na napapaisip ka na, may saysay ba tong ginagawa natin? May nakikinig ba sa atin? Baka sinasayang ko lang oras ko. Doon na lang ako sa mundo ko, di ba? Which is think tanks, policymakers, academe, whatever. So thanks to you guys, tuloy-tuloy itong inspiration natin to reach out to the public and be the kind of public educator that we hope to be. So on that note, thank you very much guys, and please continue to support us. Subscribe dito sa Facebook, subscribe dyan sa YouTube. Tuloy-tuloy lang itong momentum sana natin, God willing. And not to mention, of course, dun sa mga podcast, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Libre lang. Please lang, medyo may mga haters na nag-ano dyan. Medyo bawian natin ng mga yan, alright? It's just a click. Just one nice click, hopefully. Alright? If you believe that we deserve it, right? Again, I know, there's a lot that we can still improve here in terms of production, in terms of, I know. I'm completely aware of